On this beauteous Friday Eve, I wish you the holy word of truth and peace. And I welcome you to join us yet again for another example, another march down the lane. A march down the lane of truth, the lane of observation. My friends, let us, first of all, let me thank you for being here. Let me remind you, please make sure you are subscribed to Lionel Nation. Check right now. If you are not already done so, if you have not already done so, please, I ask you, I beg, I beseech, I implore, I importune you to do this, to make sure you are subscribed now. Take a moment, double check, make sure you are. It's critical. It's critical because you always want to make sure you know what we're doing and what we're up to, because we are constantly changing and evolving, because the world is changing and evolving before our and your very eyes. Where do we go? Well, first, let's just jump into the news, shall we? Let's jump into news and let's just there's no need for any kind of introductions. We are marching towards victory like I never thought possible. I'm not just saying that. I'm not trying to be cute. I'm not trying to be positive. I'm not trying to be, I'm going to be positive if I feel positive, and I am positive. We are marching towards victory, dear friends, like never before. The Democrats are freaking out, and Joe Biden hates her. He absolutely, positively hates her. And the president was so correct the other night when he suggested and intimated and stated unequivocally that he hates her. Absolutely hates her. In fact, there was something today that was interesting. I don't know if I did not put this up, but there was a fascinating piece where when Joe Biden was going back on Air Force One, he was carrying a very noticeable red cap. A red cap. Why do you think that was? Wow. The red cap that he was wearing in his hand. And I thought, very interesting. Why is that, pray tell? Well, nobody knows exactly, but it goes to show you that there is something, especially after he feels that he was completely and totally just snubbed and treated like garbage. Like garbage. Now, a couple of things here. First, let me reiterate and let me remind you of something, that we are, hang on. Yes, we are in the midst right now of seeing something which is so interesting. Now, if you watch and listen to the regular folks, the regular people, the regular news sources, they're going to tell you this diabolical and incredible lie of how great she is doing, and she is not. The president is speaking forcefully, affirmatively. We have examples we have so much great stuff for you to watch. This was some of the things this great president was saying regarding, look at this, per Babylon B, Taylor's cats endorse Trump. Indeed. We'll get to that. You know, it's funny, George. The whole Springfield, Ohio notion of this has changed at levels I never thought even remotely possible. It is incredible. This world that we are putting on, this absolute world that we are providing. Now, let me move and let me go very straightforward here. This is what the president has been saying and what he has said specifically regarding his stances. And remember, what Kamala has been saying is nothing but gobbledygook and drivel, word salad and the like. This is our president.
So you just said that you'll carry out the largest mass deportation of illegal immigrants. How are you going to have, for example, Governor Gavin Newsom or officials in sanctuary cities comply with that?
Well, you know, if you go to the people of California, they don't want to have sanctuary cities anymore. They're tired of sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities are really blocks that protect bad people from deportation and other problems. And they're going to do it. And our federal government has tremendous power. But we're not going to let states, even like California, even though I know it's largely a sanctuary state, essentially, but we're not going to let that happen to the people of California. They want these people out. They're just as scared as everybody else. The people of Ohio are scared. the people of Colorado. You have a governor there who's very weak. He doesn't know what to do. And he doesn't want to talk about it. A lot of it, as per your question, they don't want to talk about what's happening. They say it's so bad for the city. Let's not go public. Let's live with it for a little while. Maybe it'll go away. It's not going to go away. It's going to get worse. It's going to get so bad. You know what we're experiencing now is they're just getting settled in. There's 21 million people that have come in. They're just getting settled in. It's going to get much worse. It's going to get worse at a level like nobody's ever seen before. Go ahead.
And what we are seeing and what the president is speaking of is an absolute, a systematic pattern to completely ruin and destroy that which is our country, that which is our society. Make no mistake about it. This may sound like, wow, you're getting a little carried away there. Oh, absolutely not. Oh, no, absolutely not. This is a deliberate attempt on the part of these folks to destroy our country. And he recognizes it. And meanwhile, when little Kamala drives around and flies around with Tampon Timmy doing the hand dance, what they're saying is nada. And ask yourself specifically, do you think that the president and that the people know what's going on? Do you believe, from listening to him and listening to what's going on right now, do you believe that folks hearing his message compared to her know what's happening? Do you? I think you do. Let's listen to some more.
President, she's facilitated the largest wave of sex trafficking and human trafficking in history, the history of our country by far. And in case you don't want to write about it, which you should, because there can be no bigger scandal than this, we have, under this administration, 325,000 migrant children are missing. 325,000. In other words, take your biggest stadium in California and you could fill it up 5 or 6 times.
Unaccompanied minors.
All missing children. Many of them are dead. Many of them are sex slaves and slaves of different nature.
Mrs. L has been working tirelessly and indefatigably to address this, and she cannot put into words or state more clearly how effective this president has been in addressing this, without a doubt. And again, compared to the drivel of Kamala, listen to what she says. One more thing, just one more example, one more reference. I just love the certitude and the power that he exudes.
I can say this, we will do large deportations from Springfield, Ohio. Large deportations. We're going to get these people out. We're bringing them back to Venezuela.
There we go. Now, there we go. Speaking of which, in the past couple of days, as you know, we've been talking about Springfield and cats and pets. And as much as people have said, oh, this is just ridiculous. This is just a complete and total waste of time. This is nothing. This doesn't mean anything. Have you heard the latest of what's going on for some reason in Houston?
Jackson, Heim, and others here have seen.
So my mom was out walking her dog, and she passed by, saw that a black cat was severed in half.
Cats cut in half, others with their paws cleanly chopped off.
We have not found any blood around any of the bodies that we've picked up, and we've also, all of their internal organs are still around.
Each of these cats are part of a community colony. The first found dead 2 weeks ago. The second cat, this calico named Stella, found mutilated this past Sunday. And the third just reported on Wednesday.
And for this to happen 3 times in 2 weeks when we haven't seen anything like this in 30 years, I find it hard to believe that that's just a random animal attack.
Neighbors that live along Park Drive have filed at least 3 separate reports with Houston police. Animal cruelty detectives are investigating, saying there's simply just not enough evidence to know if this was done by an animal or a person.
We don't know where the other half is.
While we were interviewing Jackson, Houston's BARC team arrived to pick up the remains of the latest victim, collecting them for necropsy a full day after these residents called 911.
We talked to the officers yesterday, and as you can see, the body is still out here being eaten.
Now, look, we don't know what this is about, why this is, where all of a sudden there is this plethora, this resurgence or surge of attacks. It's baffling, to say the least. But why? Why? And I told you before, it doesn't matter what the particular basis of the meme is. There's a whole bunch of people who are now saying to themselves, you know what? There's something weird about this. There's something very, very strange. How does this work? Why all of a sudden is it connected? I'll let others figure it out and do the math, as we say. Couple of things. Speaking of which, Freedom, by the way. Freedom says, even if he hates her, being Trump, it does not matter. The deep state will cheat again in November. No doubt Trump will be our president again in a free and fair election. Oh, I agree with you. But don't be surprised. But you're right. Look how they're saying today. Breitbart had a little piece that said the same postal workers whose dare I say, whose union are behind her are sending out and dealing with the ballots, okay, as it were. Now let's go back to a couple of things. Let's talk about this woman. And again, did you think maybe the word salad was gone? Did you think that maybe the cackling was gone? Did you think that maybe she tightened up her delivery?
At the debate and at previous appearances about turning the page on the past, and in fact here today in Johnstown, you're talking about a new way forward. Yeah. I think some people have a question, given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States.
This is the longest question.
You are from Joe Biden, and so I wonder if there are one or two spots, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And
see, you wanted to laugh.
You know, I
did you see that? Did you see that? Did you see how she wanted to laugh? So she wanted to cackle.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
Stopped herself.
And
she stopped herself.
You know, I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work.
Oh, for the God's sake. This is back to normal. Just when you thought, okay, maybe she learned her lesson. Oh, no. There's more, my friends. There's more. Want to hear more?
I'm feeling very good about Pennsylvania because there are a lot of people in Pennsylvania who deserve to be seen and heard. That's why I'm here in Johnstown. And I will be continuing to travel around the state to make sure that I'm listening as much as we are talking. And ultimately, I feel very strongly that we've got to earn every vote. And that means spending time with folks in the communities where they live. And so that's why I'm here. We're going to be spending a lot more time in Pennsylvania.
She meant none of it. She meant none of it. She said absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Andrew Hessing says, all persons involved with this destruction, White House, NGOs, DOJ, etc., should be prosecuted for ongoing criminal enterprise. Well, that would be nice. Trying to find a charge would be a difficult story, but I understand what you say. I understand. I get it. Recently, did you see Joe Biden? Let me just play this for you and ask you, what the is this exactly? Tell me what this is.
Vladimir Putin's threat of war, Mr. President? I don't think much about Vladimir Putin. Do you take that threat seriously?
What is this?
Prime Minister, what do you
What is it? What is this? What is this? Look at him.
Thank you, everybody. This pool spray is now over. Please head out the door.
Thank you. Thank you for what? What the hell was that? What the hell was that? What the hell was that? All right, that's enough. Thank you. My God. What the hell was that? Our good friend Teresa Skinner says Philippines eat dog and cats. Heard it from the horse's mouth, pun intended, U.S. military experience. Remember, there are loads of people. There are people who actually eat them. But remember, these are animals that are not swiped. These are animals that are apparently just killed and or sacrificed or mutilated. If you're going to eat them, you're going to take them with you. You're not going to do the butchery and then leave it there. So I don't know. All I know is for the first time, the Democrats are saying, what? We've got to worry about what? Cats. What the hell is this about? Cats? Cats? Now, I want to show you this story. This was nothing but incredible. This was, let me see. This from the other day. You might have seen it. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is one that was great. This was the president. This is the Biden and Kamala walking into a firehouse. I think it might have been in Shanksville or thereabouts. And then followed by Trump. And look at the difference. I'm sure you saw it, but if you didn't, look at the difference in the reaction from the firefighters as to who they want to be their commander-in-chief. Okay, this is Biden and Harris. Look at this. Quiet. Nobody's saying anything. How are you? How are you? Big deal. Nobody's moving. They don't even look at him. Ah, well, whatever. They're just looking down. Yeah. Here comes Trump. Any questions? Isn't that beautiful? Doesn't that say it all? Who's going to win? They love him. They love him. Let me say this again. Let me remind you of this, and this is something you can take to the bank. Nobody wants Kamala. Nobody. 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 Let me say it again. Nobody. You will never hear anybody show that feeling of passion for her, that excitement. I want to show you one thing, something which is really important. I forgot this. Let me see if I can find it. Biden with the red hat. I thought this was so interesting. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now, let me just show you this. And you decide. Let me see if I can put this up. Do some quick editing here, as they say. Bear with me, dear friends. Talk amongst yourselves. Here we go. Let me see. Okay. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Just a minute. Sorry if you. This is very on the cuff. This is I'm it. I'm the producer. I'm the everything here. Okay. Watch this. Let me see. Pardon me. Here we go. Now, hang on a minute. Let me get rid of this. Forgive me. I'm so sorry. Just wait. It'll be worth it. Okay. Okay. Now watch this. First, what do you see in his right hand? You tell me. This is very, very short. But of all the things he could be carrying, of all the things he could be toting about, what is, if you don't think that's symbolism enough for what's going on, you're not paying attention. How many of you thought, oh, that was a MAGA hat? Red, 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 red. Absolutely red. You betcha. You betcha. Crypto Domini says billions should be charged back to this administration and the officials involved here and their native nations until kingdom come or Trump aborts. I like your style, Crypto. I like your style. Now, a few more things for you. I want you to hear. I want you to follow this. This is the one that gets me, and I got to tell you this story. Does everybody know who Laura Loomer is? Be honest with me. True. Laura Loomer. You know who she is? Let me just ask you a question. And this is not meant like, who the hell is Laura Loomer? I don't know her. I think we might have like followed each other, but I don't know her from Adam. You know who Laura Loomer is? Okay. Laura, okay, you do. Good. Is Laura Loomer what? Is she that? Literally who? I like that. Frederick. Okay. A quack. Okay. Is she more of a quack than the other quack? I don't know. Has she ever laughed about anybody perhaps dying from an assassin's bullet? No. Has she ever repeated this nonsense, all of the lies? Has she ever advocated drag shows, fashionable kids? No. She might have said some things that people might have disagreed with. In fact, everybody's going out of their way to bring up Laura Loomer in this case.
Completely inexcusable that she's on that plane. It's inexcusable that she's anywhere near the president. It's a failure, I think, at the top with leadership around him. I think people should be fired over it. I'm talking to a lot of Republicans who are saying that there may be a...
This is Madison, I can't read this, former DNC national spokesman. Okay.
Madison, what about Donald Trump? He is the person.
No, I think it's wrong from top to bottom, but especially the people around him who are allowing this to happen. I hear some of them encouraging it. I hear there's pre-existing relationship between Loomer and potentially Chris LaCivita and Jason Miller. I mean, and all that it's doing is hurting the president's campaign on top of...
She didn't care about that.
Everything. The people out...
Why is a DNC former spokesperson worrying about is it DNC or RNC? I'm sorry, I can't read. RNC, excuse me. Why all this attention?
Who are suffering in this country that need relief economically, that we want to see, the president get across the finish line, may not have that opportunity because we're distracted and talking about Looney Tunes like this that continue to surround.
So why are you talking?
John, I think it's unacceptable.
So why are you talking about the Looney Tunes? Why? I'm going to tell you something. Ready for this? Jealous. She's flying on the plane with him. Flying. You used to have the old days. Remember, there was the Hope Hicks. And then later on, it became this Margot Martin. And then there was Alina Habba. And then, who is the next one of Trump's Charlie's Angels? Who's there? So here comes this. Here she comes. Here comes Laura Loomer. And all of a sudden, people are going bananas. Why? Why bring it up? If you really were a former RNC person, you cared about the president, so what? Just let it go. Say, it doesn't matter. But now Laura Loomer is saying, yes, I am somebody now. Why are you making her more famous if you want to make her, dare I say, more impotent, shall I say? B. Wakul, Aussie here. Crikeys, mate. In true Aussie style, we have council elections today where one of our parties forgot to lodge their candidates. I don't know what that means, but it sounds extremely incompetent. Thank you. Freedom says, when Trump came in the room, it was like all of us Lionel seeing someone we love and respect with all our heart and soul. Real respect. Oh, absolutely. And it goes to show you yet again how people feel. I'm going to say this for the umpteenth time, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I'm going to tell you. Nobody is for her. Nobody is for her. Nobody's feeling any passion or excitement or anything towards Kamala. Period. I don't know how to say it any other way than that. I don't know how to put it into perspective. I don't know which way kind of makes the most sense, but I'm going to tell you. There's no passion there. The only thing they say, the only thing they like about her is that, well, she's not Trump or she'll maybe beat Trump, and that's it. And you don't win elections that way. Now, speaking of which, don't you love great compilations? I do, like this one.
My plan is to give a $50,000 tax deduction to startup small businesses. But we've got to increase the corporate tax rate. State taxes are going to have to go up. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people.
I will snatch their patent so that we will take over. The question is, do you have the will to do it? I have the will to do it.
The cost of housing is too expensive for far too many people. Bidenomics is working. It's working. It's a term we're very proud of, I must tell you. I'm going to invite you to attend one of Donald Trump's rallies. Now, I will tell you, the one thing you will not hear him talk about is you.
It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country, and it's hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. I want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Fight, Daddy. My love, you must fight.
Fight. I love you, Dad. I'm proud of you, son.
I will not ban fracking. I'm in favor of banning fracking. It has to be legislation, but yes, and this is something I've taken on in California. I have a history of working on this issue. When it came to the Proud Boys, I'm president again.
Name a favorite candidate. It used to be Joe Biden. Support Ms. Harris, so that is what we are going to do.
What I do offer is a new generation of leadership for our country. One who believes in what is possible, one who brings a sense of optimism.
We all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
Tim Walz and I are both gun owners. We're not taking anybody's guns away, so stop with the continuous lying about this stuff.
We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
Belittling and name-calling. Let's turn the page.
Don't you find some of their stuff to just be plain weird?
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that something? Isn't that something? What is she saying? What is she adding? What does she provide? Tell me. Anybody, tell me. Teresa Skinner, ladies and gentlemen. What does she add? What is she adding to this? Look, we can parse little things, and I did a whole piece on my private channel today where I really broke it and looked at I could do an hour just breaking down everything that was said, and that's interesting, and I think it's worthwhile. But for purposes of this, it's not, you can, I don't want to say you can feel it, but the numbers are not there. It's going to be disastrous for the first time. Listen to me. In American political history, when the vice president is so bad, when the vice president, vice president, but the nominee, he is so strange. We live in a world of trolls, my friend. We live in the world of trolls. And we live where people love to find things that are funny about you. Your voice, your hair, your whatever it is. They've already run through everything with Trump. They can't, there's nothing they can say. Everything, every mannerism, every speech pattern, his look, his tie, his hair, doesn't seem orange, whatever it is, it's been done. She's now new meat. And immediately, by virtue of the fact that she has lost the cackling and the cachinnations and this incessant, mindless, horrible, horrid, this just incalculably horrid, what's the word? Her vacuity, name it. She's been told, back it up. Esti Palti, the imitator of her, does Kamala better than she does. The word salad is back. They probably told her, watch what you say. Don't wing it. They're going to be watching. They're waiting. They're rolling tape, as we say. They are rolling tape. That's all I want to tell you. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, please listen to what I'm saying. Feel good about this. Feel good. She has nothing. Nothing. Do you hear what I am saying? Andrew Hessing says she is a marionette. Anybody can control her. Yes, she's a sock puppet, a windsock. Brad Rung, ladies and gentlemen, said, how many VP won an election in American history? None. But I will tell you how many lose. Thomas Eagleton, ladies and gentlemen. Vito says any old school Democrat who doesn't reject this new garbage that has taken over their party is lost. Absolutely. My friends, I am someone like you who represents a time when we kind of liked what the Democrats said. I liked it. It was a different time. Anti-war. Who were the people who were against that stupid Iraq war, that stupid Afghanistan, the neocons, the Dick Cheneys, whom she embraces? The Democrats. Who were the people who were the progressives, who were the anti-war? The Democrats. Who were the people who said to George W. Bush, this PNAC stuff is nonsense. You have been taken over. You have been manhandled. You have been deluged by. You have been bamboozled, and you're caught in an absolute tsunami. This ridiculous avalanche of PNACers that came. Remember all of those folks from Pearl to Wolfowitz to, we can go back. The Unitary Executive, David Addington, who was Cheney's protege, number 2 person. They wanted to change forever the power of the presidency to completely destroy separation of powers. That was the Unitary Executive. That was Cheney. The signing statements that had never been a part of anything before. There was a time when the signing statements would normally accompany bills and the like that they would sign into effect. And it would be something that maybe, I don't know, there would be a little bit of a statement as to what the intent was. Remember when they signed McCain's torture bill? And he said, yeah, I'll sign it. And they said, what? Well, yeah, I'll sign it. Sure. And he said, you're signing this? Yeah, I'll do it. But we're going to add a little something on to it. What do you mean? Well, we're going to add a signing statement later on. But I'm signing it. And they were at the White House and he signed it. Later on, what Bush did was, via Addington and Cheney and others, they added an amendment, a signing statement, which said, for the most part, they would allow this. For the most part, they would adhere to this. For the most part. However, up to and including, provided it did not violate the constitutional tenets or the plenary rights and capabilities and power of Article 2, presidential power. Well, what does that mean? It meant anything they wanted. So what they did was they said, okay, I'm going to sign this, McCain, but anytime I don't want to enforce it, I'm not going to enforce it. And that's what they did. That's who they were. Leslie Watson says Biden might be going to burn that red hat and do some voodoo on it. One never knows. Leslie, it sounds funny. It sounds crazy. It may sound daffy to you. And I thank you for your kindness. But you see, this is Uncle Lenny here. And Uncle Lenny wants to win. And Uncle Lenny knows that I live in a world today where all of a sudden something comes about. I told you this, and I'm going to say it again. There was a moment where I was absolutely taken by the proliferation overnight of the tattoo by people who wanted to look cool. Today, Mrs. Ellen and I we had a wonderful day. Let me tell you. We took a walk down the West Side Highway and all the docks past the Intrepid, and we went to our place called The Skillet. And it's Pier 66. It was a barge that eventually where you will put box cars, because all of that used to be railroad lines, and they would use it to cross the Hudson. And anyway, it's It's an outdoor, and you can food, and it was just the most beautiful day. We saw the helicopters, and it was beautiful, just absolutely beautiful day. Cool. Then it got hot as hell, and then tonight there's going to be a Latin food thing going on, probably almost over now. It was just filled with tourists, filled. The Circle Line, the Hudson River was filled with tourists, and again the helicopters. Anyway, it was great. And I kept looking around, and I was asking Mrs. Ellison, how many of these people know who Laura Loomer is? Or how many of these people know about what's going on? How many of these people know anything about really what's going on, about the issues of the election? How many of these people do you think have yet to declare for whom they are going to vote? How many of these people yet? And I learned that, and one reason why I brought up the tattoos was the number of people that I saw, seemingly rational people, women, middle-aged and others, who had sleeves because they said, if this is what I have to do to assert myself as being modern or to be a hep cat, or to be relevant, or to be whatever it is, then by God, I'm going to do it. Even though I'm mutilating my dermal real estate, even though I look like a cocktail waitress at a bowling alley, with all due respects to cocktail waitresses at bowling alleys. Linda Hazlitt says, thank you for your insight. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that immensely. And as I'm watching this, I'm thinking to myself, people are so into any kind of suggestion, and it's a part, dare I say, of the scrum, the murmurations, the birds, the flocks, the schools, the way animals and fish and legions of groups. It's the way we are. I want to tell you a story a little bit about this one more time, something I learned, and I call it the black socks effect. And I know I may have told you this, but I'm going to tell you again. I'll never forget this. There was a dentist on the Upper East Side who was arrested for basically doing terrible things to women. Once he had them knocked out, he would sedate them, they would wake up, and he would be sans clothing, except he had black socks on, like knee socks. And the first thing people would say when I would read this story live on WABC at the time, they would say, black socks. And I said, did you hear what I just said? What are you worrying about his hosiery for? Black socks. Okay, well, the other story was Eliot Spitzer. Eliot Spitzer was at the time the Attorney General and then the Governor of New York. He stepped down, and who do we get? David Patterson. He blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. Eliot Spitzer had hookers, and he was client 9. He was sending money and wire transfers and all this stuff. One of the hookers, one of the ladies of the night, one of the escorts, whatever you want to call them, said that during his various rendezvous, who he wore black socks, mid-calf socks. And the New York Observer, there was this cartoon with him wearing boxer shorts and black socks. Okay, what's the moral of the story? Sometimes something will stick out and you'll say, black socks. And you'll say, did you hear what I just said? No. Okay. I can say this. Springfield, Ohio. Yes. A city of 58,000 people. Yes. All of a sudden overrun in 4 years with 20,000 Haitians. Nobody there speaks Creole. They don't have any services for them. They can't drive. They're getting into accidents. They're uninsured. They're destroying the schools, the programs, the housing. Why not little Haiti in Miami? Or there's no culture. How in the hell did they get to Springfield? It's almost like somebody wanted there to be a problem. Fish out of water. And it went on and on and on and on, and nothing happened. Then the black socks moment. Then cats and ducks and pets were missing, and they were allegedly eating them. Wait a minute. What was that? Yeah, there were people going up at city council hearings and public meetings claiming that pets and geese and chickens called American ladies, anyway, doing Marrakesh Express. That got their attention. Crypto Domini says, I had the same thought. If Tats earlier today, he was a skeleton from the, today he has a skeleton from the wrist to fingertips. I say to myself that he wouldn't fad for his tailbone. I had the same thought if of Tats earlier today, he has a skeleton from the wrist to fingertips. I say to myself, bet he wouldn't fad for his tailbone. Interesting. I thank you for that. I think I know what you mean, but thank you for that. Now, what we have here is, for some reason, this has changed everything. Cats, cat ladies, of all the things, they said, "Oh, I'm just a cat lady." Cat, and Taylor Swift puts out the picture of her with a cat, and they're saying, "Cats? You mean they're eating cats?" And you go, "What are you talking about?" It's the black socks effect. It's what everybody is saying. Does it make sense? I don't care whether it makes sense. It's what people are talking about. You go ahead. It's working. Keep it up. Double down. They're saying, oh, they disproved it. They didn't disprove anything. Well, the city manager is not going to tell you, yeah, hi, I'm the city manager of Springfield, and Jesus, we got cats and ducks and they're slitting around. Yeah, it's wild. Crazy Haitians. Yep, that's true. He's not going to tell you that. It's working. Laura Loomer is driving these people crazy. Good. Who the hell's Laura Loomer? Again, I know who she is. You know who she is. But most people are saying, I don't know. But now she's famous, and Laura Loomer is loving this. And all the other women who are in that Trump, and I'm sorry, please, you know I love you. Uncle Lenny loves you. But ladies, you and I know how catty, how mean, how backstabbing they are when they say, who's this Laura Loomer getting all of our Donnie's attention? We don't like her. We don't like her. We're Charlie's Angels. Who is she? We look better than she does. We're hotter than she is. You know it's true. I'm sorry. I hate to say things, but it's true. You know it's true. Oh, I think Milli Vanilli said it best. I don't care. Put her in. Put her in. People are saying, who the hell's Laura? Who's Laura Loomer? I don't know. Put her in. Did you hear what she had to say about World Trade Center? Put her in. Say it. I don't care. But and people are saying, well, what about the World Trade Center? What about that? Oh, that's terrific. Tell people. This is, and meanwhile, Kamala's walking around saying, what about me? I'm not laughing. I don't feel myself. Do you know when somebody tells you, don't laugh, don't be yourself, keep it quiet, stick to these notes, do whatever it is? And let me tell you something. You see how you're going crazy with the cats? Gyro, gatos, tacos. You're just stuck on this. You're stuck on this. And I love it. If that's what it is, if that's the black socks, fine. Keep it up. What do you think about that, Kamala? What about the cats? What about those people? See those black folks who are testifying in the city of, what are they lying? And if I were Trump, I'd tell the people, hey, Springfield, guess what? They're calling you liars. Why? Because they don't like Gato Barbieri. Remember that one? Bobby Caldwell, Cat in the Hat. In any event, this is it. Oh, they're saying, where's our message? And then we got Mr. Richard Simmons jumping out there, with all due respect to Richard Simmons. And then we got Tampon Timmy jumping around like a damn fool. You're a grown man. What are you doing? What are you doing? Andrew Hessing has something to say. Andrew says, most will say no way civil war. Could be right. However, you never know where the spark will come from. Spark in the forest with the fuel, raging inferno. There will never be a civil war, the likes of which we are used to it. You understand what I'm saying? Stephen Lynch says, let me live neath your spell. Do that voodoo that you do so well. Thank you. Have you ever heard the song Kenny Rankin? I've been doing it. Someone killed a cat. It was from Silver Morning. I think it's like second album. He was a good friend of mine. I loved the Kenny Rankin. I love it. Check it out. Killed a cat. Kenny Rankin. And it goes, take a look outside. Someone killed a cat. I'm doing it in my own way. In the city, that is all there is to that. A man can die there. No one ever know his name. In the city, it's always been the same. New York, you're a mother, and like no other. You've been oh so good to me. I remember how you felt when I was innocent, and I wanted you. In this city, it's always been that way. Take a look outside. Someone's killed a cat in the city. That is all there is to that. Kenny Rankin killed a cat from the Silver Morning. First time I ever saw Kenny Rankin was on Don Kirshner. It was wonderful. Arizona says a few years back, Loomer tried to camp out on Pelosi's property in California, and the police made her leave. Loved it. Nelson A says, meow, woof, please don't eat me. Thank you, Nelson. You're demented and you're strange, and I love you for it. Let me tell you, Laura Loomer, as soon as they say, oh, she's crazy. Well, why is she crazy? Because she's got guts. Because she stands for something. She stands for something. And I've always loved people, Alex Jones, people who are like, they're not boring. When Laura Loomer shows up, you know. Ooh. And there have been people who I don't necessarily even have to agree. You know, it's funny. The other day, I'm not going to mention anything. Well, I mean, I'll mention it. But on the 11th day of the 9th month, 23 years ago, there was so much information. Al Stewart, the year of the cat. With incense and patchouli. Sorry. From a morning from a Bogart movie. And a country where they turn back time. You went strolling on like Peter Lorre contemplating a crime. That's my Ethel Merman. You came out of the sun with your silk dress running like a watercolor in the rain. There's no time for explanation. The year of the cat. Ding, 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 ding. That's it. The year of el año de gato. Año either means year or means but, depending upon how you say it. In any event, this is great. This is just beautiful. And meanwhile, she's saying, what do I do? They're talking about cats. And if I were Trump, I would just say, are these people lying? So let me ask you something. So in John Legend, who's worth $100 million and he lives in Beverly Hills, he's telling him, hey, help those Haitians out. Well, why don't you go there and help them out? I'm not going to go there. Oh, no. You know, all I know, dear friends, is that, remember also from movies, one of the greatest things I learned from Karate Kid was Mr. Miyagi said, Danya-san, karate is here. Here, never here. Never in your gut. always in your mind, in your heart. Never let the viscera take over. I say, Danya-san, Mr. Miyagi, politics is here, never here. It's reaction. I don't want you to listen to my person. I want you to hate my opponent. I would much rather you hate my opponent than love my candidate. I want you to sit there and every turn. I don't even have to do anything. I can say, do you know what this son of a bitch? Don't worry, we're not voting for him. Who's your guy again? Trump? Okay, fine. I'll take that hands down. Hands down. Hands down. However, when you can say, okay, what exactly does she have to offer? Then we get into some problems. Then the hate will say, okay, that's not carrying me as far as I thought. It was okay at first, but now that I've agreed to her, what's she going to do precisely for me? I don't know. Teresa Skinner, Mule Skinner Blue, says, okay, have they lowered IQ numbers yet? I may be a genius now. Absolutely. In fact, Andrew Hessing says, no more cats got your tongue. Oh, cat scratch fever. Little Ted Nugent there. Cats in the cradle in Springfield, Ohio. Little boy blue. Meow, 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 meow. Remember that one? That awful commercial for that? What's new, pussycat? That's what's new. There we go. Come on, let's do some more, shall we? Come on, let's take this. Let's go through every single one there is. Cat. Crypto's got, I'd rather you hate me with all your guts than eat my cat. Thank you. Okay. There's an expression, eat. Well, I'm not going to do it. Obviously, it's profane and it's disgusting, and it pretty much goes without saying. There's no need to really go through that. Stray cat strut. We can do Brian Setzer. You know the routine with that. Okay, dear friends, what a night. What a night. What a day. Everybody feeling better? We're going to kick their ass, my friends. You know that. IC or IRS. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for that. Beauteous. Now, let me ask you something. Have you been following Mrs. L's, the video of all videos? Have you seen her Diddy video? Oh my God, it's the talk of the town. It is the talk of the town. And I'm going to give it to you right now. Unbelievable, honey. This thing is catching fire. Diddy Done is called. Diddy Done. One of the best ones ever. Let me give you this. Please, right now, I want everybody to go right there to Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Lynn's Warriors, okay? Okay. Now, I was remiss, but I must mention this to you, dear friends, because it's critical that I do this and critical that I let you know this and critical that I bring this to your attention right now. Whether you like it or not, damn it, you're going to hear what I have to say. First, it's very weird, but when you're talking about people who need food and people who, you know what? If we had, and I'm serious, if there was a way to send them My Patriot supplies, if there was a way to let these poor people have this, they wouldn't need to be stealing pets and tabby and calicos and American short hairs. American finest right now is from preparewithlionel.com in the My Patriot Supply group. There is a 3-month monster group and a special one. This is a brand new one. This is so brand new, it's not even funny. This is a 4-week emergency food kit, save $50. 4 week. You pick your commitment. Preparewithlionel.com. Preparewithlionel.com. And they also, of course, our friends at My Pillow and Mike Lindell. I heard somebody the other day say, wow, that Mike Lindell. They make Mike Lindell out to be some kind of a lunatic. He's anything but a lunatic. Remember, when they call you crazy, that means you're right. When they call you a nut, it means you're 100% correct. You only take flack when you're over the target, okay? So that's that. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. Go and see the various supplies and beautiful things they have to offer. And finally, dear friend, on October the 26th, oh my God, is it going to be something? It is going to be something like you couldn't believe. At the Cutting Room here in New York City, operators are standing by. October the 26th, 10 days before the election. Wait a minute, ladies and gentlemen. That's that. Hang on a second. This is great. Teresa Skinner, cat on a hot tin roof. Oh, George Keene says, may you have 9 lives, Mr. L and DJT. Edie Crowley says, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade and swat it off the counter like a cat. And so far, this might be my favorite. Very punny. I'm going to put her in the penitentiary. The Piranha-Masiac, Feline Groovy. 59th Street Bridge song. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-da-da. Feline Groovy. Cat. I'm trying to think cat. Cat chewing the right. No, that's pushing it too much. All right. This is hideous for us to keep making these. There's also geese we can play with. And it's got to be tough. Wouldn't you love if I could, just for the hell of it? I know this is terrible to say, but imagine I had a bunch of actors and I said, I need somebody we're going to go to Springfield. We're going to be dressed up kind of as, we'll have people that look like Haitians, but kind of zombie, like all actors, and just do some Instagram, TikTok shorts going through the streets like, with machetes and just, and people, of course, they'll call that disinformation and you'll be arrested for it. Andrew says, kitty coats made in Springfield, Ohio, American made. Oh my God. And also this, all of the terrible jokes about Chinese food, which they don't do. But I'll tell you what, if you've been in our Chinatown downtown, which is completely taken over Little Italy, I don't know. Leslie Watson says, thanks, Uncle Lenny, for the musical interlude. Thank you. And thank you for appreciating my music, my particular style. It's a form of song that's often lost, part of the American songbook. It's a cross between Ethel Merman and Bert Lahr. Remember the college with the king of the forest. I like the forced vibrato. Something I've always loved. All right, dear friends. Leslie Watson, Andrew Hessing, Laura, Edie Crowley, George Keene, Teresa Skinner, IRS, Crypto Domini, Andrew Hessing, David Mudry, Nelson A, Arizona, Mark Lindsay, remember from Paul Revere and the Raiders? Cherokee people, Cherokee now. All right. Stephen Lynch, thank you. Crypto. Linda Hazlitt, everybody. Thank you so much. Leslie Watson, Vito, Brad Rung, Freedom. Anyway, I can't do the laugh. B-Wa Cool, the Aussie. Let me see. And that's it. That is it. And you have been absolutely incredible. George Keene says, Pearlington Coat Factory. You are so... That's really good. Cat Lady, we can do. Who played Cat Lady? Wasn't it Julie Newmar did one? Diana Craig, she was Batgirl, wasn't she? Diana Craig. And then Julie Newmar was Catwoman, right? And then the Eartha Kitt Catwoman, who was used to scare me as a kid. Eartha Kitt or Eartha Cat. Very good. Michael, what's his name? Michael Cat, Thomas Cat, who was Della Reese's son. Remember the movie Carrie? The young guy, the guy with the curly blonde hair, her only friend. It was a great movie. Carrie was good. Michael Katz's Deli. Sorry. I got to stop this. We got to stop this. All right, dear friends. Thank you so much. Don't forget to follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. And make sure you remain a part of this. Make sure you are always connected to us by virtue of your subscription. We'll see you tomorrow, my friends, at 8 a.m. As usual, we love you. Have a great and a glorious night. See you then. Don't forget, until then, these final words, this valedictory, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dad.